we must fight.
Our goal, to tell it as it is for the benefit of our viewer.
And I'm sure we will have good discussions.
All right.
That will make probably your viewers understand KDF better.
With 21 radio outlets.
During a live interview on KBC TV, Chief of Defense Forces General Robert Kibosha.
Jaji mkuu kwa mara ya kwanza katika mahojiano yake ya kipekee na runinga ya KBC Channel 1.
And 2 TV stations covering over 90% of the entire country. The message always gets home. KBC, the home of on-air TV interviews.
Peter, I've loved you from day one when it was even close to impossible for me.
I didn't ask for you to love me. Respect, Christine.
It seems you have a lot of savings then.
Me, I'm a baby girl. I deserve soft life. Si lazima ikuwe pesa yangu.
Mimi na wewe mambo ya kesi tustahili kuongea.
Si sana kindani, kidogo kidogo tu.
Kwa koti tutakutana huko.
Kwa nani?
Ni Mark.
Wow. Stop asking questions.
Hello, Christine. Christine, what's wrong?
We need to fire Lawrence.
She's in the living room.
You need to know which side you're on. You need to open your eyes and know which side you're on, okay?
Ili kupata sikiza tune hii ya Shujaa, bonyeza *811 *961 hash.
Siku ya Mashujaa, unamsherekea nani kama shujaa wako? Labda ni mzazi wako, ndugu au dada yako, rafiki au mpenzi wako. Ni nani ameboresha maisha yako hadi akawa shujaa wako?
Ili kupata sikiza tune hiyo ya Shujaa, bonyeza *811 *961 hash. *811 *961 hash.
أحببتك اللهم محبة دوالي وأحببت محرابك.
Mojawapo ya mambo ambayo msikiti unafaa kusaidia nao katika jamii ni kama vile kuwa na uongozi wenye uadilifu na kuzuia fitna katika jamii.
Twafaa tufunzane, msikiti ni sehemu ya amani. Kila Muislamu ana haki ya kuja msikiti na vile vile akajua ni sehemu.
Good afternoon. This is Lunchtime News. Well, we have a comprehensive bulletin lined up this afternoon. We hope that you're having a lovely day so far. My name is Jacky, Wambiru. Our sign language interpreter is Lucy Mwaura. Now, to kick us off, Mijikenda Kaya elders have thrown their weight behind President Uhuru Kenyatta's Mashujaa Day statement on Kenya-Somali border dispute, urging him to remain firm in protecting Kenya's territorial borders. The elders say Kenya's boundaries were in place even before independence, and trying to alter them now is insincere. President Uhuru Kenyatta, during his Mashujaa Day speech, reiterated Kenya's rejection in totality the verdict of the International Court of Justice on the Kenya-Somalia maritime border row.
The leaders who spoke in Kilifi urged the president to remain firm in protecting Kenya's territorial borders, noting that the borders were set up by Kenya's colonial masters and have remained unchanged for decades.
Tutakubali hiyo sehemu yetu kwa sababu wavuvi wengi wanapata rasilimali zao kule. Sasa wakisema Somali chukue, Kenya ibaki kwengine, tutapata tabu sisi.
Led by Mijikenda Kaya Elders Association Chair Mwenye Mwalimu, they wondered why the matter was being brought up now, over half a century after Kenya attained her independence.
Kulingana na ile mipaka ya Kenya na Somalia, ile mipaka hakupanga yeye wala tukipanga sisi, ile ilipangwa na wakoloni wenyewe walipoondoka. Wakatengeneza ramani zao na wakasema huku ni Kenya, huku ni Somalia. Baina ya sasa mahakama nayo ikachukua jukumu la kusema kwamba hiyo sehemu si ya Kenya, lakini huyo alizungumza tu kufurahisha roho yake.
Speaking on the ongoing political endorsements, the elders have cautioned leaders against being endorsed by fake Kaya elders in hotels, as that process is not recognized since it's not backed by the special Kaya ceremonies.
Sisi ndo tumesimama hapa leo kuambia kweli wale walaghai ambao wanachukua viongozi kuwapisha urongo kama wanawapaka mafuta tu. Hakuna mtu ambaye anaweza kuapishwa akiwa yuko barazani.
Caroline Kamau reporting for Lunchtime News.
In other news, herders in Kajiado County say they're in need of drastic measures to save them and their livestock from the devastating effects of the ongoing drought. The herders say that they have been forced to sell their animals for as low as 500 shillings.
Pastoral communities in Kajiado County say they are between a rock and hard place. The biting drought has left them with two choices: sell their livestock at throwaway prices or watch them die.
Serikali ya county inafaa kuangalia wale wenyeji wale wamebaki, kuangalia kwa ajili njaa iko mingi, watu wamehama, shule inasumbua, bei ya ng'ombe iko chini. Kwa hivyo na hata njaa inasumbua watu manyumbani, sababu najua ng'ombe ikihama, wengine walikuwa wanategemea hizo ng'ombe na mbuzi, na ng'ombe hata ile zimekonda, hata haina maziwa. Kwa hivyo inafaa waangalie watu kwa ajili ya kwa ajili ya njaa, watu wanasumbuka sana.
Some animals are too weak to even stay on their feet. The obtaining situation has seen many farmers plead with the government to hasten the implementation of the animal offtake program.
Tunategemea hiyo mambo ya mfugo kama Masai wa Kajiado. Sasa ukiangalia sasa hata bei imeshuka, kutupeleka watoto shule ni shida ya hii kiangazi. Sasa ukiangalia kiangazi mpaka hata unga ni shida. Tunaomba tu watu kama mnaenda kwa serikalini mtuangalie.
Over 500 herds of cattle have been lost to drought in this region over the last 5 years. The residents are worried that this number could rise exponentially if timely mitigation efforts are not put in place to halt the slow but painful reality. Jacqueline Masharia for Lunchtime News.
Meanwhile, an Isiolo businessman has been charged with tax evasion involving some 732,189 shillings. Roy Mwenda Murungi, who operates a wines and spirits shop in Isiolo town, was found in possession of liquor worth 1.4 million shillings, all of which he allegedly failed to remit the taxes to the Kenya Revenue Authority. He denied the charges and was released on a cash bail of 200,000 shillings or a bond of 500,000 shillings with a surety of a similar amount. The case will be mentioned on the 4th of November 2021, with the hearing slated for 24th January 2022.
Hearing the report of January next year, accused to deposit a cash bill of 200,000 and the alternative to execute a personal loan for 500,000 with one surety for security of a similar amount.
About 2,500 vulnerable households in Mandera East constituency have been enrolled into the National Health Insurance Fund. The partnership between the National Hospital Insurance Fund and the constituency's development fund saw the families benefit from a medical cover worth 15 million shillings.
Speaking during the occasion, Mandera East Member of Parliament Omar Salah said that the move will ensure that residents are able to access medical attention with ease.
We have partnered, National Government Constituency Development Fund have partnered with NHIF, and they are doing a fantastic job in terms of making sure that the uptake is at optimal level, and we will continue partnering with NHIF in the future.
Mandera NHIF branch manager Ahmed Yakub urged other leaders in Mandera County to follow suit and start such initiatives in their constituencies, as more than 15,000 people from the constituency alone are set to benefit.
Tunajua ya kuwa matibabu inagharimu pesa nyingi. Saa hii tunapitia ukame, chakula ni kidogo, na matibabu pia kwa sababu ya magonjwa ambayo tuko nayo inachukua pesa nyingi sana ya familia. Kwa hivyo tukipata NHIF kuwa watasaidia watu wetu.
Tunazindua public health centers, dispensaries, Hariri nursing home. Hapo Hariri pia kuna nursing home tumefungua sasa, imeanza kazi mheshimiwa. Na Mandera East is of course endowed with the highest number of facilities. Ile kubwa yote iko hapa. 65% nili wako hapo Mandera East.
Yakub added that the program has been successful in previous years and challenged principal members to add more beneficiaries to ensure a large number of people benefit.
Na tunashukuru sana mheshimiwa wetu wa Mandera MB Umar Sala, tunashukuru sana alitumpa hizi makadi, kuna wengi anasaidia hii kadi.
Reporting for Lunchtime News, I'm Wambiru Otiende.
There is need for people to embrace persons with disability in order to cater for their special needs. The coordinator of Metro Church International, Belly Otieno, said stigma associated with persons living with disabilities denies them the opportunity to access services that enable them to exploit their full potential. She made the remarks when the religious organization offered foodstuff counseling services and business skills training to 1,900 persons living with disabilities in Nakuru town.
Bila huwezi kuelewa, walemavu wengi walikufa na wengine saizi wako manyumbani wanalia tu, lakini Metro Church imetushikilia. Niliongea na askofu Mike akaniambia hapana, wote tuje pamoja leo tujitie nguvu, tupate experience za wale wengine. More or less ni fellowship, kila mtu anaeleza mambo yake na anasikia story ya mlemavu mwenzake, anapata nguvu.
In other news, Kisii County Governor James Ongwae has called on area residents to avoid last-minute rush to register as voters. Ongwae says voting is one of the many ways Kenyans decide their future.
Governor Ongwae said that Kisii County is a vote-rich region and all eligible voters must register for the exercise. He said that there is need for leaders to mobilize the public for the ongoing voter registration exercise.
Hapa Kisii tuko na ndugu zetu almost 220 something thousand ambao hawajaregister kama voters. Hao wakiregister Kisii tutakuwa na watu over 770,000.
Youth in Kisii County have been challenged to seize the moment and make their voices heard.
Mupite round constituencies zote ndio muongee na vijana wengine ambao hawajaregister kama voters waregister kama voters.
We must make sure that all the youth, those people who do not have IDs, those people who don't have cards, they take.
Tension is high at Chepchoina settlement scheme in Trans Nzoia as over 1,000 evicted squatters accuse cartels of allegedly working with the Ministry of Land officials to allegedly allocate parcels of land in the area to tycoons. They have threatened to seek court redress if the ministry does not give them back their land.
The squatters, who are mostly from the Luhya, Turkana and Pokot communities, have protested their eviction and accused a section of political leaders of incitement and using the matter for their political mileage. Led by human rights activist Ogutu Makodiango, the squatters demanded to be resettled.
And these are the squatters who are being pushed out of the land, who are being given land. Every Tom, Dick and Harry from everywhere, far and wide, on financial considerations, when the real people who should be given land are left to suffer in poverty.
They said since they were forcefully evicted last year, no effort has been made to resettle them.
If you are not going to reshuffle the land office in Kitale, we are going to flush them out.
Speaking at the scheme, Kapenguria Member of Parliament Samuel Moroto urged the government to address the plight of the squatters.
Sasa wale wazazi walikuwa wanatulisha ni wale ambao walipata haki yao pale. Sasa wanaanza kuondolewa saizi. Watoto wao wanahangaika. Na haiwezi wakahangaika kama sisi wengine bado tuko hai namna hii. Haiwezekani.
And in the political arena, a section of the Orange Democratic Movement members in Busia County Assembly has asked ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna to stop meddling in the election of leaders and party primaries at the grassroots. Addressing the press in Busia, the leaders urged Sifuna to concentrate on his leadership mandate at the party headquarters.
Led by John Oganga of Marachi West, the leaders accused Sifuna of favoring some candidates.
Isije ikaangaliwa kwa njia ya favorism. Just the way we are getting, kuna wale wanakimbia left right, kuna wale wanafikiria chama ni yao. Hii chama ni yetu na sisi sote tulichangia kuijenga.
They say that such acts will make the party lose its popularity in the region.
Wacha National Election Board hiyo ina handle. Hatutaki kuona Secretary General wa chama akiamuka, that National Secretary General wa chama anapaamuka na kusema kwamba yeye anaendorse mtu mwingine, then that one is a vice yenye nachangia kuvunja chama chetu cha ODM.
The leaders have therefore appealed to their party leader Raila Odinga to take a keen interest on the region and focus on fostering unity among members ahead of the 2022 polls.
We want to urge our party leader, ingilia, Secretary General ambaye ni mtoto wetu Sifuna, have a limit. Jua boundary yako. Let it not appear like ukiamuka leo you issue a statement ile yenye inachangia kupromosha chama chetu.
The national government has reaffirmed its commitment towards resettling families displaced at the height of banditry attacks and livestock raids in Olmoran, Laikipia County. The County Commissioner Joseph Kanyiri says elaborate measures to ensure rebuilding of houses that were destroyed in the attacks have been put in place to enable the victims return back to their homes.
Laikipia County Commissioner Joseph Kanyiri said that an assortment of building materials has already been delivered in Olmoran and that the process of reconstructing the houses was underway.
Kuna mabati tumeweza kupata 2,000 zile za gauge 28 na mabati za 3 meters na mbao na misumari ambazo ni za kusaidia waathiriwa wa mizozo ili iliwahi fanyika kuresettle na kuanza maisha yao upya.
He noted that at least 40 families have been earmarked in the program.
Kando na hiyo pia kuna miradi ambayo serikali inatekeleza kupitia idara yetu ya KDF. Wanajenga madarasa mawili kule shule ya Meringwet na kuna ile county government imeshughulika kukarabati ile darasa moja ilikuwa imechomwa. Kuna sehemu zingine kunaendelea kujengwa vidibu za maji ili wafugaji wakaweza kupata maji karibu na maharisho yao.
The program is expected to extend to other areas among the Mirigwit, Miharati, Save, Ngarenarok and Amsamaki villages that were adversely affected by the banditry attacks.
Nimeshukuru kwa sababu serikali imetusaidia mingi tangu tukuja hapa, tangu tuchomewe manyumba ilichomeka yote. Tumeshukuru, tumejengewa nyumba, tumeendelea kupewa misaada.
Wacha Mungu aendelee kuwasaidia kwa sababu anaangalia wananchi vile wameteseka, na hiyo ndio mzuri.
Reporting for Lunchtime News, Amamboi Otiende.
Well, on that note, we'll take a short break. Up next is business news, and then later on we shall have an interview segment whereby we shall be discussing harnessing diaspora remittances with Ann Lawi, who is the managing director of Pangea Trust. Well, let's take that break.
Log on to the KBC website at www.kbc.co.ke to get the latest breaking news, entertainment, sports, politics, lifestyle or business trends from Kenya and around the world. Never miss new episodes from your favorite TV shows, reruns and movies. Just stream online or watch live on your YouTube channel at KBC Channel 1 TV shows. For the day's biggest stories, trustworthy news and family entertainment, log on to KBC Channel 1. Watch what you want anytime, anywhere.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email newsroom@kbc.co.ke, call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
14th October 2011 will always be remembered as a Rubicon crossing moment for the Kenyan Defence Forces. Kenya's intervention was a commitment by the Kenya Defence Forces to protect and defend Kenya's territorial integrity, to secure sovereignty, national interest, as well as secure peace in Somalia and the larger Horn of Africa.
You warriors, ndio? And you really shown it because you're warriors. I know your work. I know how much you've done in these operations. I know the commitment. I know the dedication. And I urge you to continue in the manner that we are doing our job.
About the importance of ensuring that you're disciplined, to a healthy lifestyle.
When it comes to diet, they say you are what you eat, and actually that's the truth of it. Because actually whatever you eat, it dictates your nutritional status.
Sometimes you may be very consistent and disciplined, but the results are not coming so fast. What should motivate me to keep going for 6 months, 8 months? I'm still, holding on to this. And most of the time, these foods are not so interesting.
When it comes to weight loss, you're not going away from the foods that you're used to. It is the same food that you're used to, but now you're eating with discipline.
Welcome back. Now let's proceed. The lifting of the nationwide night to dawn curfew that has been in force from 27th March 2020 came with immense merrymaking in Kisumu, where revelers thronged entertainment joints to celebrate the announcement, while Boda Boda operators termed the announcement as a great relief in their work. A spot check by Channel 1 in Kisumu City last night painted a picture of a city full of activities in the nightfall.
It is about 10:30 into the night, the central business district Kisumu. Just a few vehicles and countable residents visible, painting a picture of a life still under the curfew directive. But on the outskirts in Kondele, a popular estate in Kisumu, it is a contrasting scenario. Nightlife has literally come back to normal. Revelers having the time of their life in various entertainment joints.
Curfew is over, we can do our work till late times.
Life is better without curfew. I'm very much happy today. At least I'm going to celebrate my birthday without curfew.
Kwa siku ya leo kama Mashujaa Day tunasema Uhuru ni shujaa. Kwa nini? Uhuru ni shujaa kwa sababu ametoa curfew. Hii curfew la ametoa. Sasa economy, tunaona economy itapanda juu.
Vendors termed the lifting of the curfew a blessing, as bar operators also reveling in the announcement that was widely anticipated across the country.
Hapo nyuma wakati wa curfew nilikuwa nauza smoky packet 3. Kwa leo naona nimeuza 6. Curfew ilituumiza sana juu sisi tunafanya usiku. Imetuharibia biashara mingi. Kama ma clubs tulikuwa tunategemea clubs na zilikuwa zinafungwa mapema, mapolisi pia wanatuumiza.
Mimi na karanga gorogoro 2 lakini kwa inaisha. Leo naona imeisha, naenda kwa nyumba na ndoo bure.
Sasa kwa leo ndio tumefanya mpaka kupita kiasi juu walitoa curfew. Lakini hata sisi huko nyuma tulikuwa tunafunga kwa ile saa ya kawaida.
Biashara naweza sema at least leo imeimprove. Ukicompare na vile ilikuwa from this time zenye curfew imekuwa kuna big improvement, at least hizi tunaweza uzia watu.
But the board operators were upbeat that the announcement will help them make up for the losses they have incurred while the directive was in force.
Mambo na curfew ni ngumu, nitangangana kidogo lakini tulikuwa tunateseka. Hii inaendesha ni alone. Sasa ninafurahia kwa sababu niko na nafasi ya kutafuta pesa ya loan.
Wycliffe Okech for Lunchtime News.
Now let's talk business. Residents in Tana River County are set to access water from shallow wells and water pans set for construction. The 150 million shilling small irrigation and value addition project has established sites in Galole constituency to contractors for drilling irrigation wells and establishment of water pans. Successful bidders are expected to commence the drilling of 12 shallow wells and construction of 3 water pans in Chifiri, Hakoka and Gururi areas within 14 days.
Tana River is among 11 semi-arid counties that the Africa Development Bank funded project is being implemented. The project aims to reduce poverty by enhancing agriculture productivity, income and food security. Agriculture is the backbone of Kenya economy, with about 80% of the population deriving their livelihood largely from agriculture. 75% are smallholder farmers. The project has injected 500 million shillings to Tana River County, which will see 27 shallow wells drilled as well as 2 market sheds erected in Galole catchment area. TVAP intends on increasing incomes, food security and nutrition along agricultural value chain by raising agricultural productivity and improving agricultural market access for poor and marginalized communities by constructing 9 new irrigation schemes and rehabilitating 3 existing schemes. The project also supports post-harvest processing and value addition by promoting agro-processing businesses. Since December 2020, the project has benefited over 215,000 people, of whom 124,000 are women. Reporting for Lunchtime News, I am Teresa Mutai.
Will still be forced to continue importing fish to meet its consumption needs. Fisheries Principal Secretary Francis Owino says lack of quality fingerlings and expensive feeds have delayed the implementation of the 15 billion shilling aquaculture business development program that was to increase fish production by over 60%.
Financing agreement with IFAD to fund the 15 billion shillings aquaculture business development program. The project sought to increase fish production from the current 400,000 metric tons annually to at least 600,000 metric tons. However, the government admits the program is behind schedule due to lack of quality fingerlings to distribute to farmers.
Changamoto ya fish feeds, zile samaki ndogo. Fingerlings pia tunaangalia tupate quality fingerlings na kwa bei ambayo mkulima anaweza kununua.
So the major challenges ni mambo ya liners, mambo ya quality fingerings na mambo ya fins ya chakula.
This, coupled with expensive fish feeds, has seen fish production at its lowest in years, with each farmer producing an average of 50 kgs annually.
Pia tuko na changamoto ya chakula samaki tunaita fish feeds. Hizo miradi huu itaishughulikia ili tuhakikisha kwamba tumepata quality fish feeds na pia affordable fish feeds.
We expect each farmer to produce by the end of the season 500 kilos per farmer per year.
Farmers have been encouraged to take up fish farming to fill the deficit and reduce the country's fish import bill. Benson Rioba reporting for Lunchtime News.
Residents of Tiati in Baringo County are hopeful of full land ownership rights as the county starts the first land adjudication in Tiati sub-county. The county governor, Stanley Kiptis, hopes that with the move, locals will be able to expand their economic activities and adopt diverse means to eco-living.
The land adjudication process seeks to sort out land ownership issues that have plagued the region since independence. Lands Chief Officer Catherine Changwon says the process includes the issuance of title deeds of 21,000 title deeds and 10 million pieces of land which had already been adjudicated.
Tulibadilisha agenda yetu kutoka agenda ya kuwa na sehemu ya kuishi bali tukaenda kwa agenda ya kuweza kuwa na sehemu na kuweza kupata cheti ya shamba ya hiyo sehemu. Na sababu ya hiyo ni kuweza kubadilisha maisha ya wananchi, kuweza kupata faida zaidi katika ile ardhi ama kipengele ya ardhi ambayo ameweza kupewa.
The county government hopes the issuance of title deeds will also change the way of lives of the locals from depending on livestock to modern ways and also reduce cattle rustling.
Kila siku mimi ni squatter. Kwa sababu mimi sijui bali ninaishi hapa alafu nahama bali ingine mara mwingine nakuja kuclaim atini yake na si yake mara nini, lakini sasa mimi najivunia kwa sababu mmekuwa ni yangu, iko kwa chini yangu.
Sehemu nyingine hata kule Ravini kuna sehemu iko nyuma, na kiini yake ni kwamba kumbe watu watapata stakabadhi ambayo itawasaidia kujiinua kimaisha. Tiati tangu 1963 mpaka wa sasa hakuna title.
Reporting for Lunchtime News, my name is Hibak Said.
Well, and as I had promised earlier on that we shall be having a live interview segment where we shall be discussing harnessing diaspora remittances. Well, this is the time, and our guest this afternoon is Ann Lawi, who is the Managing Director of Pangea Trust. Well, welcome, Ann, to our program this afternoon. Well,
thank you. Thank you for having me. Looking forward to the conversation.
Well, me too. Just to kick us off, maybe you tell us how Kenya can maximize remittances inflow, which continue to grow and which cumulatively stood at 344 billion shillings in the year to August.
All right. Thank you again. My name is Anne Lawi, Managing Director of Pangea Trust and also one of the founding trustees of Pangea Trust. As Pangea Trust, we are a business accelerator, but also an investor. And what we are doing currently is activating diaspora remittances as investments for businesses across Africa. One of the things that we have been able to establish is that the diaspora remittances are on the rise. As you have mentioned, the figures right now from 2020, figures from the World Bank, they stood at 3.1 billion USD. And that figure is estimated to go up in the year 2021. That is defying the economic downturn that have been that have affected globally because of the pandemic. However, despite those huge numbers, very little or very small percentage of that diaspora remittances goes to investment, to businesses, either startups or businesses. Less than 5%, it's what goes to investment. The rest of the diaspora remittances that come to the country are household consumption. And we see a huge opportunity for us right there to try and explore to see how can we unlock more of those to be set aside and channeled to investments. What we are doing currently, we have one of our projects called Diaspora Remittance Initiative, and we have created an innovative investment mechanism. And one of the key things we have done is to do a diaspora remittances mapping for Kenya, Kenya, Somalia, and Ethiopia to start with as a pilot. We wanted to establish, as much as we have so much inflow of remittances in Pan-African coming to the continent, how much of that can be tapped to go into the investment. And what we have discovered out of the diaspora remittance study that we have done, up to 59% of respondents have indicated that they are willing to invest in these businesses. So what we are doing is, one, can we be able to mobilize more of the diaspora remitters to be able to channel their remittances as investment. Secondly, create a mechanism that we can be able to channel these investments into the startups. So being that we are also a business accelerator, so we scout businesses in Kenya, and currently we are starting with Kenya, Ethiopia and Somalia. We scout businesses, we make them investor ready, do due diligence and KYC, that is KYC, due diligence of being able to know the business, and then channel these investments if they're investor ready. So that's the overview, and that's the process and infrastructure that we are putting in place to be able to channel the investments.
You mentioned mapping.
Yes.
Maybe you tell us, you recently released the Diaspora Remittance Mapping Study. What would you say was the most outstanding finding?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because there have been a lot of mapping there before done by different partners. But out of this, we wanted to understand, one, what are the motivations for the remitters to send money, and also we wanted to know what are what is the investment appetite for remitters to be able to send money aside for investment. What has been outstanding for us is to discover that there is a huge percentage of diaspora remitters who would want to channel money as investments. But one of the key hindering factor is trust. Do I trust that the infrastructure in place will give me the return on my investment? Do I trust myself to make the right decision? Is there, and the next one, is there sufficient information for me to make the right decision for investment? And that's where we come in as Pangea Trust, because we want to provide sufficient information for investment case studies across Africa. Secondly, we profile the businesses that we are going to invest in and do due diligence. That means that if you want to invest in this business, you can go through different profiles that will be part of the platform, and then make your investment decision directly to the business, and we do the facilitation. So we are doing all the delisting and making the investment decision very easy for diaspora remitters who would want to channel their investments, their remittances as investments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you also mentioned startups. Now, maybe what frameworks can be deployed to ensure the startups tap these huge remittance flow?
I think it's as a country in Kenya, we have made great strides in terms of creating a neighboring environment for building business in the region. One of the things that I have seen, because I've been in the industry for quite a while, is that there are so many opportunities that you can be able to position your business, be it in health, be it in education, be it in logistics. So one, can you be able to create an innovative business that can scale? Do you have technical expertise and knowledge to build a business in a scalable manner? Are you building a business in a market segment that can be able to scale? And make sure that you're able to understand the investment understand the investment language. Now, with that in mind, as long as you have a scalable business concept, or you have a scalable business idea that you have put in place, and you have been able to establish that you are in a market segment that can scale, also ensure that you understand the investment landscape. One of the things that have made most of the businesses and startup to not tap into available opportunities is because of lack of understanding of investment opportunities that exist. So understanding those basics and then positioning yourself to be able to tap into those. Understand what exists, what investment opportunities exist, and understand how you can be able to align yourself with. For us, what we do is to ensure that we have a call for application. So if you come across our call for application, we provide all the information of how you can be able to position yourself, and then from there we are able to if you send in your application, do the selection, and then we do the investment consideration from there, and do investment readiness, because it's a key component to ensure the businesses are ready for investment.
Well, could COVID impact or derail diaspora interest in startups? Maybe.
Actually, that has been surprisingly good for remittances. It was projected that the remittances will go down at the beginning of 2020. Actually, it went high. So we are seeing positive outcome out of COVID, but then there has been very conservative view and consideration towards investment across the globe, across the continent, from other investment mechanism. And that's where we see diaspora remittances as a key driver of investing in businesses across the country and across the continent, because the numbers in terms of the money that is coming to the continent is quite high. Why we are very keen on this as Pangaea is because currently up to 96% of startups and businesses invested in 2020 was expert founded, while only 6% of those businesses that were African founded. Now, we see an opportunity where we can be able to increase the investment percentages to African businesses. And the reason for that is because most of the investment mechanism sits outside the continent. So the money that, the decisions making for this money, if it's outside the continent, definitely it will invest into startups that are more closer to home, which is outside the continent. And that's why we want to create a fund that is specifically channeling investment into businesses across the continent. We have for us to be able to share the results that are coming out of the mapping study that we have put aside, we have a diaspora validation workshop to be able to widespread the outcome of our diaspora report, or remittance mapping report that we have put in place. It's on 4th of November. Where we'll be sharing the recommendation, the findings, and the mechanism that different businesses and stakeholders can be able to engage with.
Mm-hmm. Maybe are there obstacles to enabling investments for the diaspora in accessing appropriately packaged information on investment opportunities?
Yes, there are two kinds of two kind of hindrances or challenges. One, how do I get the right businesses to invest in? Who does the follow-up mechanism for me as a diaspora investor? And the other thing, how do I validate that this is a legit business case? And if it will grow, how do I get my return on investment? On the other side, because as I said, this is two-fold kind of challenge. The other challenge is for the businesses that are in the continent. How do I get to identify investment mechanism that exist? How do I even expose my business or put my business across for investment consideration? How do I get myself ready to even be considered for this? And that's where we come in, sit at the middle, ensure that we create a platform where we can create a very clear path for you to be able to access investable business from our accelerator process. So we'll do the call for application, do the screening, do the selection, do the due diligence, and provide these businesses, or rather showcase these businesses to our diaspora remittance investors. On the other hand is to provide the right information to the diaspora remittance investors. Make sure that we can provide a portfolio of businesses that they can make investment consideration from, and also make sure the legal aspect of it that is required that have been taken care of. So if you decide to be, or rather commit to be, one of the investors for the program, then all the legalities that need to be in place then is taken care of. So the challenges that come out of this process to us becomes an opportunity, and that's why we are engaging most of the stakeholders in the ecosystem. One, to be able also to create business opportunities for the businesses that we are supporting, but also to get buy-in, because we know there has been other initiatives that have been done before, and we know there are learning opportunities, there have been challenges. How can we build on that? And to do that, for us, what we are doing right now, we are engaging different stakeholders in Kenya and in Somalia and Ethiopia, and we have a stakeholder session next week that is on 28th of October, to just understand what are those opportunities that exist, especially in Somalia ecosystem. So the event that we have on 28th of October, next 20th of October, is to just understand what are the opportunities, what are the challenges, what are existing collaborative opportunities, what are the different case studies can we build on.
So just to wrap us up, I see that time is up for us here. So maybe how can startups pitch for the funding from Kenyan diaspora looking to, or rather looking for investment opportunities?
Right, so right now we have just closed the call for application, but I would call upon all the businesses that feel that they have an innovative business across, we are sector agnostic across all sectors, can still submit their business case or their application using our social media handles at Pangia Trust. They can Google us at Pangia Trust, submit, and for the next cycle, maybe we can consider them. So because right now we have just closed the call for application. It was running from July up to 24th of September. But we're still running. This was the first cycle. We will still have other cycles coming. So we call upon to keep on following us on our social media platform and follow all the events that we have, because we can provide all the information that we require. That is the validation workshop on 4th of November, and then the Somalia stakeholder session on 28th of October, so that they can get the information they require and they can know what to do next.
Well, thank you so much. Well, that brings us to the end of our interview segment. That was Anne Lawi, who is the Managing Director of Pangia Trust. We were discussing harnessing diaspora remittances. And now we shall be moving on. Truecaller, their leading global platform for verifying contacts and blocking unwanted communication, announced a new commercial partnership with Commercial International Bank of Egypt, the largest private sector bank in Egypt. It aims to provide secure services to its customers and protect their data. Here are the details of these and others from across the continent.
announced the partnership with Egypt's largest private bank, Commercial International Bank. When receiving a call from Commercial International Bank, customers will be able to ensure that they are indeed receiving a call from the bank when the brand logo and name appear on their smartphone screen alongside the verified badge icon. This will ensure that its customers do not miss important calls or messages and will help consumers identify fraudulent entities and scammers. Meanwhile, Morocco government announced that it is suspending flights from the United Kingdom, Germany and the Netherlands until further notice. Morocco national carrier Royal Air Maroc mentioned that the move to stop flights from the European countries was due to the pandemic situation. Morocco's health ministry warned of the threat of a new virus surge, saying there was need to avoid possible relapse of serious and critical cases and COVID-19 related deaths which have occurred in several European countries. Finally, the Beer Association of South Africa has warned that the government could introduce another alcohol ban in South Africa should a fourth wave of COVID-19 infections hit the country over the December holiday period. The Beer Association of South Africa, which includes the Craft Brewers Association, Heineken South Africa and South African breweries, is concerned that another ban over a critical period could further damage the industry and lead to job losses. The group has written to Trade, Industry and Competition Minister Ibrahim Patel urgent intervention at a cabinet level to ensure that the irrational alcohol ban are no longer imposed, especially over the festive season, which is a critical time for the local industry.
Welcome back. Now moving on to sports news. Congo Nets basketball team emerged the champions of the Mashujaa Day basketball tournament organized by the Kenya Basketball Federation Mombasa branch after winning 25-14 against Mombasa City Thunder. The one-day tournament was played at Madaraka grounds to launch the newly constructed basketball pitch at a cost of 1.5 million shillings.
Nets beat Mombasa City Thunder 25-14 to clinch first position during the one-day event, which brought together 6 teams including Mbaraki Pirates, Mtopanga Finest, Congo Nets, Mikindani Pacers, Mombasa Thunder and Young Nets. During semi-final 1, Congo Nets beat Mbaraki Pirates 30-22, while Mombasa City Thunder beat Young Nets 24-10 in the second semi-final to qualify for the finals. Winners Congo Nets and runners-up Mombasa City Thunder each received a trophy, jerseys and medals, while the rest of the teams each received jerseys for their players.
Tuwashukuru kwa vile vijana wa hapa wameweza kujitokeza, timu ya hapa imeweza kuwa formed, iko tayari na iliweza kucheza leo baina ya timu ya Mombasa Def na wameweza kushinda. Wametuonesha kuwa wana hamu ya kuelewa mchezo na wana hamu ya kuweza kushiriki katika mashindano yatakayokuja.
During the event, which was used to launch a new pitch in the area, Kenya Basketball Federation Vice Chairperson Hilmi Ali lauded the initiative, saying it will go a long way in rehabilitating the Mombasa youth who have been entangled in the web of drugs and substance abuse.
Sisi kama chama, mimi kama Hilmi naweza kuleta mkufunzi hapa, anaitwa George Pewa, kwa jina lingine la kuslimu anaitwa Abdurrahman. Anafanya kazi na hawa vijana na work nao kila siku, na tutakuwa na wao kwa kila hatua ya basketball yao mpaka pale watakapofika wanaweza kujisimamia wao wenyewe.
Hilmi said the new facility is lacking players, changing rooms, lavatories and shade canopies, and called upon well-wishers to help in the construction of the remaining facilities.
Croatian forward Nikola Vlasic in line to start for West Ham United when they host Belgian side Genk in a Europa match as he aims to net his first goal for the Hammers. West Ham last played against Belgian opposition in 1976 when they lost the cup winners a final against Anderlecht. Meanwhile, Manchester United came from 2 goals down to beat Atalanta 3-2 and top Group F in the Champions League.
United fell behind after just 14 minutes at Old Trafford